Today's budget deck is all about the Druid class, something which not a lot of people are playing at the moment, but I feel like it has a lot of potential, and people can probably track my Beast Druid addiction to about 2 and a bit years ago, so let's just continue that. So for this deck, you're going to need 1020 dust, and the Karazhan Adventure. Unfortunately, there's not really a way to avoid that with this particular Druid deck, but we're just going to run with it for now, and maybe I'll look into a different Druid deck in future. Let me know what you think. But the good news is, it's quite a low dust cost, so it's only one adventure and just a little bit of dust, and chances are you're going to have quite a few of these cards already, if you are a Druid player in general. So, here we go, let's get into it. So this is a fast Druid deck, inspired by pretty much every Druid deck in existence that isn't Ramp Druid, and it's all about basically putting a lot of pressure onto your opponent. We're up against that pesky Rogue class at the moment, which is using the Rogue quest, and it's quite popular on ladder at the time of recording this video, so maybe you want to take on to the ladder a fast deck like this kind of Beast Druid to kind of hunt down those rogues. It works well against combo decks like Mage, like Rogue, that can't stay alive or can't stop your minions efficiently enough, in my experience. So, it's not so good against, say, aggro, because sometimes it can't keep up, but sometimes you just get broken turns with Menagerie Warden, and things like that, and your mana ramp, that you can outpace them as well. So, like I said, this deck is all about putting lots of minions onto the board. You wouldn't think that right now, but I've prioritised getting that wild growth out. We don't have things like Darnassus Aspirant anymore, so we have to work with what we got with wild growth. I did think about Jade Blossom, I think is the free mana ramp, but I just decided to go with some more beasts in the end. So I've gone for a very safe, a very consistent build here, which just works most of the time. You tend to get decent draws, and it's all about making sure you have as many copies of each card as possible, so trying to reduce the number of one-offs. I've gone with 1 Maya Keeper and 1 Nesting Rock, because those are cards that I didn't feel were essential to the deck, and as you can see, every other thing is a 2 of. So that's to try and make this as consistent as possible, because this deck is looking to get minions onto the board, namely beasts, and then copying them with Menagerie Warden, and then following up the Menagerie Warden turn with a Savage Roar. And that's really good in this deck, because there's quite a few stealth minions as well. So Savage Roar can do a little combo with your Stranglethorn Tiger, your Shell Shifter, and to a lesser extent, your Giant Wasp as well. So Giant Wasp kind of fills that awkward free mana slot, but I haven't put anything else there, apart from Savage Roar of course, because Druid is looking to skip over that turn anyway, with things like Innovate, and things like Wild Growth, as we just saw. So this deck is all about making sure you curve out and putting strong minions in those curve out spots. So on turn 4 we've got Maya Keeper, Shell Shifter, Violet Teacher, and on turn 5 we've got Druid of the Claw, Stranglethorn Tiger, and a 1-of of Nesting Rock. I'm still testing it out, but it's a beast and it's a 4/7 even if you don't have anything to trigger it with. So here we go, Menagerie Warden coming down now, and showing how quickly you can get a lot of damage onto the board. Now if our opponent isn't concerned, they should be, because we're going to have a lot of damage coming at their face very soon. I'm currently just deciding, if you're wondering by the way, whether I need to kill this Ferryman, and I decided at the end of the day, I'm just going to attack face, because I need to put damage on the opponent, and the way to win against a Quest Rogue is to make sure that you've got momentum, and they can't get any traction to make use of their 1 mana 5/5s that are going to come out. So that's what this deck is all about. I think it's pretty refined, besides maybe the Nesting Rock, the Giant Wasp, and the Maya Keeper. Those are the picks I'm a bit unsure of at the moment, but I do feel it's consistent enough to take onto the ladder, and obviously we'll do a few more tests in a few more days, in a few days' time, in the rank play videos. So here they go. They're going to complete their quest now. We've got 3 Novice Engineers, maybe a 4th Novice Engineer. Oh, there we go, there was the 4th. I wasn't paying attention. Caverns Below coming in, and at this point, you do have the tendency to shit yourself. And I wouldn't blame you, because everything's now a 5/5. What are you going to do as a Druid? You haven't got any removal, and they're going to remove some of your minions with Southsea Deckhand. Now at this point, it is just a matter of, did you get enough momentum in the early game in order to try and fight back against this? Now, it's going to be tricky, but you need to make sure you're doing your maths. It's time to get your calculators out. It's time to make sure that you have enough damage to win the game. So, here, I'm going to probably swipe, because it's too delicious not to. We're going to get rid of the 5/1s, and I'm probably just going to ignore the Novice Engineer, but we'll see. I might just kill it with my Giant Wasp, just to clear the board, and then he has to rely on charge minions to deal enough damage to me. But at this point, I'm constantly counting up how much damage I have with Savage Roar, with Power of the Wild, with a Stealthed Tiger, you know? Just making sure that at any point in the game, I'm just going to have enough damage. So I decide here, I'm just going to follow up with a 3-2 and just make sure I keep putting pressure on the opponent. Now with a Savage Roar, this is the game. This is enough damage with Druid of the Claw, but we'll see how much he gets rid of. So it's all about just doing your maths in the late game, and it's not too flashy, but you know, Menagerie Warden and all of these mini combos in the deck, like I was mentioning in the previous budget deck videos, aren't as flashy as the new quest cards, but you know what, they get the job done. And here I go, I almost missed it. Like, that's how easy it is to miss with Savage Roar, because you have to remember to add on the 2 attack from your hero as well, and I'm afraid to say, that's the game, guys. It's all over. So there you go, 3 decks in a row that can beat the Quest Rogue if you want to go back to the previous videos in the playlist, and I will be covering more budget decks in future, but before that we're going to play a few more games with the Beast Druid, and I love me a good Beast Druid. And you know what, I might even do an Egg Druid soon, because that one looks pretty good with Egg Napper and stuff, and the new egg cards. It looks pretty fun. So yeah, if you enjoyed this, be sure to leave a like on this video. It lets me know that you enjoy the series, and of course, if you haven't already, be sure to head on over to Zoid Gaming, hit subscribe, hit the notifications button if you want a little ding every time I upload a budget deck and other stuff too, and I will see you very shortly for another video.